This is not a building that's open to the public unless you have a scheduled appointment with somebody.
No, first of all, I came in, I got a badge.
Please stop recording because this is not
And
a
I'm doing a
facility.
public record. I'll wait here and
Who are you waiting
definitely wait for law enforcement.
No, I asked for the head of security to come in.
Yeah.
Gail, can you please contact Doug and alert him that we need to have law enforcement remove somebody from the premises?
This here is Shannon McMinimee, the District Counsel of Bellevue, Washington, who is also a lawyer and a constitutional law instructor. Yeah, you heard that right, a constitutional law instructor. I think we've all known for a while now that most government-appointed attorneys are bad, but this lady in particular really takes it to a whole new level. And it's not just because of what I Am Free managed to catch on video when he went to this building 9 months ago at the time of me recording this. No. We've got some major updates to this lady and a huge scandal she was involved in. But before we go over that, we want to show you some snippets of just how unconstitutional this lady actually is, in spite of her job description. We sincerely hope you all enjoy, and let's roll the tape, shall we?
I'm Shannon McMinimee. I'm the District General Counsel. This is not a building that's open to the public, and you don't have permission to record me. Please turn your camera off.
That's not happening.
Okay, then you need to leave.
I'm here doing business.
Whom are you doing business with?
The district.
No, you need to leave. Who do you have an appointment with?
Hold on a minute. You're counsels and you're an attorney?
I'm the general counsel of the district. This is not a building that's open to the public unless you have a scheduled appointment with somebody.
No, first of all, I came in, I got a badge.
Please stop recording because this is not
And
a
I'm doing a
facility.
public records request. So let me be clear.
The public records officer isn't here today, but
Doesn't
you can
matter.
go ahead and make your request, but you don't have the
I
right
can
to
submit
have
it.
it on
You need to
camera.
reread 4256. Okay? Subsection 40
You can
is
go
really
ahead
clear.
and submit your public records
clear.
and hand it in, but you
Any
do not have
office,
permission.
department, division, bureau, commission, any of those.
You can go
to.
ahead and make your Public Records Act request, but you do not
I'm going
have
to.
permission to videotape.
Absolutely, I do.
No, you don't.
I
You
do.
don't. This is not a public building that is open
Look,
to the public generally, so you can.
I guess
either-
maybe you went to Seattle U or something. You were the C- student.
No.
You need to
You can
probably
go ahead
back.
and be as provocative as you'd like, but if you don't turn off the
I'm
camera,
not turning it off.
Okay.
In no universe is that going to happen.
Gail, can you please contact Doug and alert him that we need to have law enforcement remove
Great.
somebody from the premises?
Yeah, now that that's happening, I'm definitely not going to
Okay.
leave because I don't want to make it seem like I'm running.
Okay,
That'd be
that's
bad.
absolutely fine. But you don't have permission to videotape within this building. It's not a facility that's open to the public.
Are you familiar with forum analysis? Did you skip that
Yes,
class?
and this is a closed forum.
It's not a closed forum.
We don't hold meetings here that are open to the public.
Doors are open to the public. I can come in.
You can do business at the
It's
front
time, place,
desk,
manner
but you do
restrictions.
not have the ability to record in here. We don't allow
Absolutely,
for
I
recording
do.
within this building.
Absolutely, I can.
No, you can't.
Look, the Ninth Circuit's been really clear on this. The implications of Fordyce versus the City of Seattle, among many others. And
Why don't you sit down and write out your Public Records Act request,
how
and I'll
about
take
you
it
mind
upstairs.
your own business?
No,
Okay.
it is my business.
It's not your business.
If you're making a Public Records Act request, you can sit down and write
I'll
out your
do
Public
it.
Records
I'm
Act
not going to
request.
sit down like I'm your dog. You understand?
Well, what do you plan to do?
I'm going to fill it out
Great.
however I choose to do so.
Great.
Okay.
And if you're not going to do that
You really
in the building
need
in
to
a
rein it
non-disruptive
Your
way,
attitude is terrible. You're unprofessional. You're rude. You're provocative, and you're escalating. You need to
actually,
stop.
you're the person who's been
Okay.
provocative and escalating and making personal attacks on me. I'm just making it clear to you that you don't have the right to videotape within this building.
It's-
Gandalf the White.
Okay.
Lovely choice for yourself.
Thanks.
If you want to make a Public Records Act request, you can absolutely feel free to do so.
And I
but
can
that
record
doesn't.
my process doing it.
You can absolutely record yourself writing it, but not this building. So please go ahead and do that.
No. I'm going to
Okay.
do it on my own term.
Great, then you can feel free to I'll stand here with you.
Great. I'll wait here, and
Who are you waiting for?
definitely wait for law enforcement.
No, I asked for the head of security to come. I didn't ask for law enforcement. Gail, can you please contact Doug and alert him that we need to have law enforcement remove
Great.
somebody from the premises?
There's a lot I could really say about this lady. I mean, she completely misunderstands the First Amendment. She completely misunderstands the forum doctrine. She threatens to get the police involved on this guy, even though she was really bluffing the entire time, considering that even she knew deep down that I Am Free was doing nothing wrong. And she was truly condescending to this man just because he wanted to get a public records request in. Mind you, at his own pace, of course. But instead of focusing on that, there's something more important to talk about here. Let's take you all the way back to July 13th, 2019. The infamous star of this particular story is a man named Willem van Spronsen, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The man was deceased ever since this day, and rightfully so, and the reason why is because he was known as an Antifa terrorist. On July 13th, 2019, this man decided to bring Molotov cocktails and other flammable items and explosives to an immigration detention center in Tacoma, Washington. He attempted to set the building on fire, one of the cars were engulfed in flames, and the police responded. He attempted to take them out with an AR-15, and when he couldn't unjam his breech, they took him out immediately. Now obviously the cops in that particular situation are far from being the problem. They were doing their job in protecting the public from a known terrorist. But what does this man have to do with Shannon McMinimee, who is not only a lawyer and a constitutional law instructor, but was also the former president of a local gun club, if I'm not mistaken? Well, she happened to have been caught on video in an Antifa protest for this man, which considered him a martyr. That's right, Shannon McMinimee is in support of domestic terrorism. And because of that, I Am Free decided to go to this board meeting so he could ask the council some questions about why they choose to retain a known associate of a domestic terrorist group. Let's play you a few snippets of the things they had to say, or lack thereof.
Make that bigger there for you.
Thank you. Name is Herbert Wolfisch Liegelstein, House of Bergedorf. And I'm here with some questions for the board, hoping I can get those answered. I know I have a limited amount of time later. Questions are about hiring, and I wanted to know if the district was aware at the time of hiring Miss Shannon McMinimee that she was the governor of the Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club, and that had some of its members provided armed security in the Chaz, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, in June 2020. Was the district aware that Ms. McMinimee considered a domestic terrorist, Willem van Spronsen, a martyr after he was killed by the Tacoma Police Department while in the midst of committing an act of terrorism against the Northwest Detention Center, an immigration and customs enforcement center? It's privately operated on behalf of ICE. Was the district aware that Ms. McMinimee was governor of the Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club, which its own members described openly as an above-ground organization of Antifa, when she was hired? Was the district aware of Ms. McMinimee's quote, an excerpt from an NPR article regarding domestic terrorist Willem van Spronsen about his terrorist attack? Quote, Shannon McMinimee, Van Spronsen's friend and a fellow gun club member, said examining that night at the detention center is like looking into a kaleidoscope. People turn it around until they see what they want. In Van Spronsen, the Trump administration sees a terrorist. Antifa sees a martyr. Did the district consider two of Ms. McMinimee's response to Van Spronsen's terrorist attack as a fellow gun club member, as quoted in the same NPR article? Quote, McMinimee said anybody who knew Van Spronsen's dedication to the families at the center would know that he'd never deliberately put them in danger. In her telling, there is no terrorism. Quote, for me, my friend was killed by the police while trying to destroy buses that were going to be used to round up and deport my neighbors. End quote. And second quote, ultimately, we decided as a club unanimously that we were not going to hide from this and that we were going to lean into what happened and to tell Will's story. Hey, Director, do you have any comment about the affiliation of your general counsel with the Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club?
I don't have any comment right now.
No comment on any of that?
No, thank you.
Does the district support that? Mr. Harrison, does the district have any comment about the affiliation of General Counsel McMinimee regarding the John Brown Gun Club providing security at Chad Armed Security? Director, were you actually aware of that affiliation of General Counsel McMinimee being the president of a gun club that's an Antifa gun club? Were you aware of that? Directors, do you have any comment on the sources of shared information? Ms. McMinimee, do you have any comment about your past affiliation with domestic terrorist Van Spronsen? Was the district aware at the time of Ms. McMinimee's hiring that she was the president of a gun club? Did the district know this?
I've only been on the board since last December.
Gotcha. So no awareness of this?
I wouldn't have been here when they made any decisions on hiring her.
So there's no awareness by any of the directors here that Ms.
I
McMinimee
can't
was.
speak to anybody's awareness.
Any other directors, any other comments regarding Ms. McMinimee's affiliation with the Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club and a domestic terrorist that attempted to
comment, but thank you for
blow up the Northwest Detention Center?
So you all know how in the book of Genesis, when Adam and Eve decide to eat from the forbidden tree, and in doing so they end up hiding themselves in shame from God and also their nakedness? That's exactly what this situation reminds me of here. They know they've done wrong and they're trying to hide themselves from it. I guess that's just human nature, right? Trying to run away from guilt. But I suppose that's an excellent reason for us to leave contact information down below to this school district for all of you to hold accountable, especially to this so-called attorney, Shannon McMinimee. Be sure to be as respectful as can be if you choose to redress the grievances, but similarly to what the acronym of our channel says, please do let them hear our roar. Not only that, we the people, but make sure you go subscribe to I Am Free, aka Inland Auditing Media, and let him know that recognizing our rights sent you, and stay tuned for any updates to his other situations. It's not the only thing, we the people. You see, unlike attorneys such as McMinimee here, you need a great attorney on your side at all times whenever you have to deal with the police. That is why we encourage you to check out the description and the pinned comment down below to Attorney Shield, where you can have yourselves an attorney on speed dial, and that's far from the only feature, of course. When you use Attorney Shield, in the event that you ever get arrested unlawfully, you'll have the ability to continue recording from your phone with the cops involved being helpless to stop you from recording at all. If that sounds like something you need, which you more than likely do in this day and age, be sure to check out the description, pinned comment, or the QR code here on the screen. And if you use our promo code of ROR1776, you could get your first purchase 10% off. So make sure to check that out as soon as you can. But with that being said, thank you once again for watching, we the people. The only other thing we want from you is this: never stop loving the good old Constitution.